Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever, skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a couple of topics ranging from public speaking, social skills, content creation, and much more. No matter which field a person is dealing with, at a certain point, they may feel imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when the person doesn't feel worthy. They feel as though they are out of place. They're working, sure, but something in the back of their mind is thinking, well, do I have the credentials for this type of work? And that's problem number 1, credentials. We live in a society that values credentials a lot, although that's been changing as of late. I know a certain businessman who does not care if you have a master's degree, a PhD, etc. They just want to know if you can solve the work that they have assigned the job posting for. If you can't, then your credentials will not help with that. Now, although we're changing from a world that doesn't require too much credentials, at the back of the mind, especially the subconscious mind, is still operating with that narrative. Yes, I need credentials. I don't have it yet. And since I don't have it yet, that means I shouldn't be talking about public speaking. That means I shouldn't even be public speaking. Big mistake. I believe one of the best ways to tackle imposter syndrome is by taking action anyways. And as you're taking action, don't just be mindless in regards to it. Instead, have a strong gratitude practice in regards to the action that you are taking. This allows you to feel more competent over time. Haven't you ever seen that one person that is highly confident but doesn't bring that much value to the table? It goes on to show that this person has a lot of self-belief. I knew a person like that before. This guy, his name was Chris, and he was awful at playing basketball. But in his mind, he was such a talker that he was great in his worldview. And there were a lot of times that he was able to get picked over people that were way better than him. It's because he carried himself like a person who could play basketball, even though he could barely dribble. One time, I was playing with him, and I noticed what made him so confident. Even if he just made one layup, he kept talking about, yes, I made the layup. And he was over here celebrating it. And he was whispering to himself that all the misses that he had before the made layup were just as important. The 7 missed shots led to the 1 made shot. This is a person who may not be too competent, but is highly confident. Now imagine you, someone who has competency because you are putting in the work, but then you're also being grateful for the work that you're putting in. This is going to help you overcome the credential-based mindset and focus on value first. Now, with all that being said, I want to make a case for imposter syndrome. I don't think it's fully bad. I think it only is bad when you have too much of it, where it's crippling action. But I think having a little bit of imposter syndrome at all times allows for a person to be more curious, always be in learning mode, and always maintain pride. To this day, I've recorded over, 400 podcasts, but there's still this level of imposter syndrome that I face in terms of Armani. Sure, you did 400 plus podcasts, but who's to say that you will have the discipline to record 400 more? And this little bit of imposter syndrome fuels me more in order to engage all emotions, dark and light, in order to channel it into my craft. So I believe that imposter syndrome typically happens due to the credential-based mindset. We can overcome the credential-based mindset by working and taking some time to be grateful. But other than that, if you're someone who is listening to this episode and you're just suffering from sporadic bursts of imposter syndrome every now and then, not too much to take away action, then I actually believe that you are in an optimal situation. Greatness is born from the humility of knowing that you can be better and the desire for perfection. In that polarity is where magic happens, whether you're in the public speaking domain, social skills domain, content creation domain, or any other domain out there. Good luck in your industry and leverage imposter syndrome to the best of your abilities. If you want more practical insights like this into mindset, be sure to check out my book, The Level Up Mentality, a guide to re-engineer your mindset for confidence. In this book, you're going to understand how to use all emotions for self-improvement. You're going to understand how to leverage imposter syndrome towards your advantage. You're going to learn more about creating a North Star so the mind has a theme to focus on, and many more other topics to learn more about the mindset. Check out the Level Up Mentality in the description box or go straight to ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks podcast, and I will catch you next time.